Morning, you guys. So, tried to do the live stream. I think it was yesterday. Yeah, yeah. Wait, no, it was on Sunday. Did not go over very well. Um, but I have some help, and my help has told me that he's gonna figure it out. So, hopefully that happens, and I can still do the live stream one of these days soon, and I will keep you guys posted and let you know where I'm at with that. Um, so Mom and I went up to Northport again. I think it was on Saturday, can't remember, and went to that junk shop that I had posted a haul video from a couple weeks, well, about a month ago. And anyway, I picked up some more books and some pretty cool, like, ephemera and stuff like that. This isn't necessarily a haul video, but I did want to show you a couple of the things that I got. One of them is this General Science, Discovery Problems in General Science. It's like a workbook. Science, like a science workbook. So it's kind of cool. I thought these would be neat to make some envelopes with, and just, some of the illustrations are kind of neat, and so I thought these would be kind of fun. And this is like a freshman year, ninth year. So, and then and I already kind of started taking some of this stuff apart, but I got an this is just Los Angeles. It's a Orange County Street Atlas, 1974 edition. So I thought, wow, that's all pretty neat and usable, and I like the colors and stuff like that. So this was obviously a spiral bound book, so I disassembled that. And this guy I thought was pretty funny. What can I do now, Mother? Indoor playtime suggestions. And it's just all of these activities that kids can do inside. And some of them are pretty neat. How to make a pinwheel, tearing paper, that kind of thing. I'm almost, I don't know, almost thinking maybe I won't tear this apart. Maybe I'll give it to my daughter-in-law for my grandkids. But because there are some pretty cool ideas in here. I don't know, did any of you guys ever make the little boats out of the walnut shell? Take a half a walnut shell, put a little bit of melted wax in the bottom, stick a toothpick in it with a flag attached to the toothpick, and then float them around in the bathtub. Anyway, those are kind of fun. Anyway, so this book, and got a bunch of sheet music. This is the cover for the atlas, so I might use this to make a couple of journals with. But yeah, a bunch of sheet music, and these are mostly just like text, but then all of these with the really pretty illustrations on them, and so these were like 50 cents a piece, and I thought they were worth it. I love sheet music, and I have tons of it. It says $1, so she gave it to me for half price. But yeah, so a bunch of sheet music. And so I was going to run this by you guys. I'm actually thinking about putting together some junk journal kits, like you know, and I've seen lots of different types of kits where not necessarily the printables, but you know, kits of you know, just stuff you can put in your journals. And so I was just kind of wondering if I were to put together some really fat kits, like, you know, where it would definitely be worth say $40 or $50 of, you know, just tons of book pages, coffee dyed paper, ephemera, you know, lace ribbons, blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff. I'm thinking about maybe putting together like 25 of those and listing them on Etsy. What do you guys think about that? Just kind of based on what you've seen of what I use and that kind of stuff. So I was going to put together some kits that were right along the lines of, you know, what the kind of stuff that I use. So anyways, let me know what you guys think about that. But also I thought this was pretty cool. These are the New York Times like headlines, and this is all on newsprint. These are all printed on newsprint. So I thought those were really cool. So this book smells very musty. But she had this out in this like shed room. It's like this gigantic shed, and it's kind of open. So it's covered and everything, but it's kind of open. So it's probably pretty humid in there. Anyway, so I picked this up, which I thought was pretty neat and useful. And let's see, what else? What else did I get from her? I know I got a bunch more like handkerchiefs and stuff like that from her. Thinking about making like a fabric journal one of these days. See how that goes. I really want to finish up these little mini journals and kind of get them out of my brain. They're sort of starting to bog down my brain a little bit, so I need to try to get these finished and maybe work on the big file folder journals. Oh, one second. So I'm like extremely random today, but bear with me. I wanted to show you guys some of the books that I got from her too. Okay, put that over there. So I got this Betty Crocker's picture cookbook, and look at all that yumminess. So all these tabbed pages and stuff like that. Yeah, so kind of self-explanatory, but I think this will make a great journal, and I can use all of this stuff in other journals. So this thing is really heavy, super heavy, and it's in really good shape. You know, it's in really good condition. So a lot of useful stuff in that. And then got this little Sea Scout manual. It's like a Boy Scouts manual, and it just has all of these, you know, knot tying and stuff like that. Some cool graphics and stuff in there. And it's falling apart, so anyway, that is a copy of Mary Poppins. When was this? well, copyrighted 1934, but not sure when this one was printed. But yeah, so Mary Poppins, good for book pages. I really liked this book. I can't even read the title of it, but The Winning of Barbara Worth. Anyway, so it's this one for book pages. The Wonder World of Science. This is another like textbook, elementary school like science book. How dust builds up the earth. How chalk is formed. Anyway, so that I thought this would be maybe a neat journal cover. Carpentry. I have another book kind of similar to this. It's smaller, but basically, if you want to build a house, here's how you can do it. But I just love the illustrations in these kind of books. You know, they just look like there was so much time put into it. You know, so that, and then here's a book on bookkeeping and accounting. This was a textbook, 1952. But I thought all of the, you know, sample ledgers and stuff were kind of neat in here. And I thought these would look neat as like envelopes or, you know, pages in a journal. So I got like, look at that. Isn't that neat? Application for a Social Security account number. Little Social Security card. Anyway, so that one. And then this one is a visual garden manual. So this would be kind of cool for like a gardening sort of theme journal maybe. It's just all these like diagrams and you know, how-tos. So I thought these would be pretty, just, you know, tore out and folded up and tucked into journals. Yeah, so that. And then this really old Robinson Crusoe book that is absolutely falling apart, but I love the paper, and a lot of the drawings in the book are really pretty. So, and I like how it's all discolored and kind of funky, you know. A lot of drawings in here. So anyway, so those. And this lady told me that her dad was a boat builder. And so she has a whole bunch of like nautical maps and stuff. Anyway, so I picked up some maps from her. These are not nautical maps, but I got a bunch of maps. Most of these are of California. So somebody in her family or something was doing stuff in California. That one. And then just a bunch of these kind of books, these little kind of pamphlet style books. There's one about molasses. This one's on the Western bad men, so it's just all about like the bad guys in the West and like biographies about them. It's an old quilt pattern. It's a hymnal. Not sure exactly what this is, but I liked a lot of the advertisements that were in it. I thought those would be kind of neat to use. Maybe scan some of them and reprint them. I don't know. That's probably against the law, but I don't really care. This is a little pamphlet of how to use a slide rule. This is a play. This is a script from a play, Legend of Robin Hood. Physiology. This one obviously had like Kool-Aid spilled on it or something at some point. It's all pink. And then this one I thought was really pretty. It's all this like handwritten, these handwritten recipes in this book. So, kind of pretty. So, you know, just some random stuff that I picked up from her. And she also grabbed some like sewing notions and things like that for me that she said she grabbed just a few, and I won't show them to you because I don't know where I put them, but you know, I basically snatched up whatever she brought. So, and she says she has a whole ton more at her house, so pretty happy about that. Anyway, so I thought I would just kind of give you guys a little update as to where I'm at and what I'm doing, and maybe put together a couple of these finish up a couple of these little guys on camera. So, you know, my process is basically I just pull out stuff and okay, so these are the little mini journals that I'm making, and my thinking is that I'm gonna insert these in purchases on Etsy, and these will just be free gifts for on Etsy. I really need to make some journals though, like some full-size journals, but I want to finish these up before I get started on any other projects. So anyway, I just kind of found something, you know, I put an image on the front of each one of these, and then I went back and you know, attached either a flower with a button or one of the little clusters or something. I just attached something on the front of each one of these. So now I'm kind of at that point where I'm just filling them up with little tags and stuff like that, and maybe doing a little bit of embellishing. I'm trying not to go too overboard on these since, well, you know, I'm giving them away, but yeah, so I'm basically just pulling out stuff and tucking things in here. I've picked up a bunch of playing cards lately, and so I'm trying to use those. And so then I can justify getting more, right? If I use them, then I can justify that to myself. So I just kind of go through my trays of stuff that I've got cut up and ready to go, and basically find things that fit. Really, I mean, I'm honestly very random about what I put in these journals. You know, and some days I feel like working on journals and you know, assembling them and stuff like that, and other days I feel like making tags and getting together stuff for stuffing. So I'm just going through here and kind of adding some little tags and stuff, and then I'll go back and add some tabs on here, I think. Some little tabs. I've got a ton of these little tags that I made up from the Flow book for paper lovers. These come as a whole sheet in the book, and then they're perforated. and you could just tear them apart, and they come with the hole and everything. So I just added a little piece of embroidery floss on each one. So I have a whole bunch of those. I have another like whole stack of those that I need to use up. So sometimes on these little, cards, it's nice to add a piece of fabric or lace or something, right? So let's find a little something to put on here. Yeah, just a little tiny thing. Ta-da! I'm searching for something to put in there. Sometimes I get to where I've just got so much crap to choose from, I get a little overwhelmed. I love this red and white fabric. So that one I kind of folded over. I'll tuck another one of these in here. And everything in these is coffee dyed, pretty much, except for maybe the playing cards. Wouldn't coffee dye playing cards, probably. And I have all of these little pictures that I printed off from scans of my old family pictures. So I try to use those here and there, kind of sparingly. This is just like a piece of coffee dyed ephemera. And we have a pocket on the back here. So I've just been taking book pages lately and just folding them into the shape of an envelope. Tuck those in. It's a good way to use that book paper. And this is from a file folder. So, yeah. So I've got 2 more stuffed with tags. And then, like I said, I'll go back and kind of embellish them a little bit and add some tabs. And I pulled out, probably not going to use any of that. Or that. I might use some of this stuff. This is just kind of random little bits and stuff. But I actually kind of like that right there. I like to indicate where there's a pocket, or something, just so that whoever's, looking through the book sort of knows that actually does something, cutout butterfly. And here and there, I just, will staple on a little postage stamp. Kind of as a tab, and then I'll use actual little tabs on some pages. Let's put one on here. So, I mean, I know this video doesn't really have a lot of rhyme or reason, but I just kind of wanted to make a video and let you guys know I was sorry about the live stream and just kind of give you an idea of where I was at and say hello and yeah. You know what I'm saying. I really appreciate your comments and your support and all of that. I really do. It's pretty cool. So try not to think about it too much, but I was actually asked by one of the senior editors at Stampington and Company to submit one of my journals for consideration to publish it in their Green Craft magazine. And so I sent that to them last month, one of the journals that she had seen on my Etsy shop, a specific one. And so I sent that to them, and I should hear back. She said the week of January 8th. So who knows? That'd be pretty sweet, wouldn't it? I would love that if one of my journals was published in a magazine. Who wouldn't? Anyway, so send me some positive vibes on that, you guys. And if it doesn't happen, hey, you know what? It's not the end of the world, right? I mean, it wasn't like I was thinking about that to begin with, She just kind of sent me a message out of the blue about it, and so I figured, okay, yeah. And so if they do publish it, then they said they would ask me to write like an article or something about like my process and things like that. So that should be fun. If it happens, I'll let you guys know. I'll let you know what they say. So anyway, but yeah, send me some good vibes for that, okay? And I'm just going to keep working on these, and I may chime in later on today. Who knows? I want to start trying to put together some larger journals that I can list in my shop. So some more of those. I have some that I need to list that are finished, but I haven't gotten those in there yet. So there's a couple of those, and then there's a few that just need some finishing touches, So I'll try to finish those up and get them listed, and then maybe gut out some more books and start some new ones, some new like full-size hardcover journals. So all right, you guys, well, I'll let you go. I just wanted to say hello, basically. Anyway, and I love you. Have a great day.